Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. StrangeNet here. So today I have just purchased my third BPO, Tech2 BPO, and that is the Scourge Rage Torpedo. Now this is without doubt the single most expensive item I have ever bought in the game at 65 billion ISK. And for anybody that's new-ish to EVE, yes, you can still buy Tech2 BPOs. No, you can't find them generally on the market. They are sold by players only, and they are slowly but surely dwindling within the game. So you can still buy them. Generally, you'll find them on contracts. The odd person selling them, direct sell, or so say on the forums. But all in all, these can no longer be gotten within the game. Through general game mechanics. They haven't been given out now for 15 or so years, so the ones that are still left behind are legacy items from a time long gone. Oh, and before I forget, I'm doing a Varga partner skin giveaway, so bang your comments in the comments section. Make sure you've got your in-game name, and I'm also going to be giving away pretty much 1,000 of these BPCs, the Triglavian bits and bobs that I'm never going to use. So if you don't want these, basically just make sure in your comment that you say you don't want them. It's only the skin, but basically regardless, put a comment in, make sure your in-game name's there, and basically I'll draw it ASAP and I'll distribute them out as it comes up. And again, over the years, I have owned a good number of Tech2 BPOs, but when I was newer to the game, I saw the value of them. But again, when you're newer to the game and you need ISK, and obviously you're making ISK and it's going out as quickly as you're making it a lot of the time. And I've had Hornet BPO, I had the Major Rage Torpedo, I've had the Rocket Rage Missile, and a few others. But basically, over the years, I've got rid of them all. I didn't keep them. I pretty much sold them for what I bought them for. And looking back, it was a bit of a mistake. Now, at the time, I needed the ISK. I didn't have the foundations that I have nowadays. At the time, it made sense. Looking back, I kind of kicked myself because, again, the Hornet BPO, I bought it for about 4 billion. I think I sold it for 5 billion. And now they're worth, 150 odd billion? Or that's the general going sell price for drones nowadays. So, yeah, it does make me a little sad when I look back. But again, it was a different game, and I was in a different point within the game. So I'm now buying them with the intention of keeping hold of these indefinitely. I have no intentions of ever selling these going forward ever again. And I kind of look at this as the pinnacle of industry, especially for myself. I don't fly Supers, I don't fly Titans, so the ISK that I'm acquiring slowly but surely, or rapidly as it has been, obviously with the channel, more so than I would have done if I hadn't have been doing the YouTube stuff. But yeah, this is my end game, and again, I like the idea of collecting these because they're finite items. They are items that aren't at the moment going to be reseeded probably ever again. We have invention and other means of attaining them now, which is great. But again, it gives high-end industrialists something to aim for. Some people ship-wise collect Alliance tournament ships and Guardian Vexers, etc., but you can't get any more. And well, for me, that doesn't really hold much appeal. Where I do like looking and trying to acquire these BPOs. So in regards to cost-wise, I think I paid 30 billion for the Nova Fury, I paid 40 billion for the coprocessor, and I paid 65 billion ISK for the Rage Torpedo. 65 billion ISK is more than what I normally would have gone out, especially for an ammo BPO as well. But there's not many Tech2 BPOs around at the moment. There was a flurry with the stations being destroyed a year and a half ago. Recently, there's not been a great deal for sale, and this one's been on the forums for a good while. And again, reluctantly at 65 billion, but doing the maths and working it out, I think it's got about a 6.5 year rate of return on it, so I'm happy with that. And I often get the question of, well, what happens if the game isn't around in 6 years? And basically the answer to that is always, well, does it matter regardless at this point? you know, yeah, I may never make the ISK back because the game might not be here, but if it is here, then obviously I gain my ISK back, and if it doesn't, then, you know, the game is no longer here and we all move on anyway. So I'm quite happy to look at longer timescales now, especially as I've gotten older. When I was obviously in my early 20s, you know, looking forward 5-6 years was literally a lifetime, where now 5-6 years seems to pass in the blink of an eye. So I'm quite happy to hold these. And again, I'm not selling them. These are part of my collection now until they either get destroyed or CCP removes them or the game shuts down. So I've done the maths for both the BPO and the BPC. The BPO comes out at, as we looked at, about 1.1 million ISK per hour, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending materials, etc. And for the BPC, it works out, give or take, at about 650 to 700,000 ISK per hour. So not a huge difference. There's only 400,000 ISK difference in regards to having the BPO versus doing it via BPC. But as said, you know, it takes a lot of the hassle out of doing manufacturing with the BPO. And again, we've just had the announcement for the battleships, so there's a good possibility as well that Scourge may end up being used more, because obviously battleships hopefully will be being used more as well. So another reason why I decided to pay more than what I probably would have liked for this BPO as well, with the current changes inbound shortly. Yeah, that's, as I say, people often ask me what my goals are in EVE, and, you know, what it is that I'm working towards and why I'm collecting the ISK, etc. And yeah, that is generally what I do it for, is to collect these T2 BPOs nowadays. And again, the collection is small, but it is slowly growing. I make a lot more ISK nowadays than I probably, well, again, I've probably made more ISK in the last 2 years than I've probably made in my entire EVE career. A lot of it is obviously showing you guys how I do it. That encourages me to play a little bit more, to do a little bit more than I probably would do, and to, you know, give you the I make 30 billion ISK a month, yada yada yada. You know, yeah, that obviously translates to me having more ISK to play with, and yeah, I've got to do something with it. So yeah, these BPOs are my end game. So I hope that was interesting. Gives you some insight there, because there's a lot of myths in regards to T2 BPOs and where they've come from and how they were seeded. And I'm sure if you look deep enough or have been in the game long enough, you'll have weird and wonderful stories to tell about them all. So with that, thanks for your time, thanks for listening. Hope that was interesting. Drop a like, drop a comment, say hi. I'll talk to you again later.